Hi, Rich the First Time DM, back with another DM tip video. Today, we're going to talk about when it is actually okay to railroad your players. I know, settle down, you don't want to railroad your players. I've said it multiple times across multiple videos on this channel. I get it. However, like any other rule, there are exceptions to it. So, come on back and let's talk about it and see when is it okay to railroad your players. Welcome back. Well, I know this is going to be tough. Don't railroad your players. Ever, ever, ever. Except in a couple instances. One, you're running a one-shot. You're only going to run a session once. You have a very tight time box of time to run it in. So you have 3 or 4 hours that you need to get through an entire adventure. Railroad your players. Not obvious. They still have player agency, but the game is more on rails than what a normal game would be. You don't give them as many options for shopping or NPCs to go talk to. The whole point is to get through the adventure. Most one-shots are going to be combat adventures. So get them into the combat as soon as you can. Keep the combat rolling until the end. Let them do some things in between, but you got to keep moving. There's another time. And first, we need to talk about setting the scene of how this applied to my table just last week. Before we get into setting the table, literally talking about what happened on my table last week, let's talk a little bit about today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Only Crits. Do you love sharp edge dice? What about dice with things inside of them like ducks? What about metal dice, both solid and hollow? How about mystery bags of dice? I know I can't resist those mystery bags of dice at my friendly local game store. I just always have to buy one when I pop in. What about dice trays and dice cases? Well, Only Crits has you dice goblins and dice dragons taken care of. They have everything you can ever want when it comes to dice, and each one of us can always use more dice in our lives. So, click the link in the description to go to Only Crits, let them know the Laughing Tavern sent you, and enter the code MESOCRITS at checkout for 10% off your order. Thanks to Only Crits for sponsoring this video. Thank you, Advertising Rich. Alright, so my table. 2 months ago, one of my players broke their leg, so they were not able to be at my table for the last 2 months. We welcomed a new player in last session, brand new to my table, and one of my players normally dials in via FaceTime. Well, this time, she was actually able to be here. So, when that happens, when I'm actually able to have everybody at the table, we stay within the campaign. It's the next session in their game. But I try to do things to capitalize on her being here at the table. It doesn't happen a lot. FaceTime is okay. It works. Roleplay can be tough. Combat can be tough for her. I'm constantly texting messages from my phone to her of the map and what it looks like and having to describe more about where she is. Thankfully, they're a paladin, so it's really easy during combat. She wants to run up and hit things. So this time, the players got together. I did the recap. They started in with the role play right off the bat. You had a player who's first back after missing 2 months, and in canon, in game, they broke their leg too, so we made it work. But also you had the new player coming in. So there was a lot of role play. A lot of shenanigans too, as players always get up to. Trying to get the players who were on the skyship to the city to meet the player that had broken their leg so we can start the adventure, which would require a social interaction with a quest giver, and then going to the quest location and accomplishing the adventure. They made it through 2 combats in this session, but here's where I had a problem, and I actually had to go against my own rule for something that's not a one-shot. I had to actually go in and at the table tell my players to, hey, can we tighten it up a little bit? Can we move the story forward? Can we get going? While Maeve is here at the table, can we get going? There's a lot of cool combat encounters I have for you guys that would be great when she's here. Players agreed, but I felt bad doing it. DMs out there, was I wrong to step over to players and force them into the railroad? Even though it's where they're going to end up being, I just didn't want a 4-hour session of shenanigans before they even got to the quest giver or during the interview with the quest giver, to where 4 hours later they hadn't done anything but talk to people. To me, that would have been a waste of having a full table. Am I wrong? Sort of, I guess. I should have let the game play out as it was going to play out, seeing how it was a normal session for the party. Plus, it was session 50 of the game, of the campaign. Really wanted it to be more than just, the basic shenanigans of a party. We also had to take time to stop and, sip on Quest and Druid. Not a sponsor. Great things. Check them out. So, like I said, my players seemed okay with it. I still feel a little conflicted about it, though, because I didn't take away their agency. I took away their fun. Did I take away their fun? My players, if you're watching this video, and please tell me you're watching this video, let me know in the comments, too, what you think. Did I do it right? Did I do it wrong? I tried to handle it diplomatically, but I wanted to run the session like I would have run a one-shot. So, don't railroad your players. Plain and simple. Except when you should railroad your players. So, as always, leave it up to your table. You got to go with what works at your table. And while this worked for me in the moment, and I think worked for the table, until we got to a real cool combat where they faced the Displacer Hydra. That's right, a Hydra that has the same effective as a Displacer Beast, but it also had other things when it hit and had a breath weapon that can cause the player to phase through time. Basically, miss their turn completely. Or re-roll their initiative and possibly go twice in a round. It was really cool. It was fun. The players all loved it. So I just wanted to make sure we got to someplace. So, let me know in the comments below. And as always, be nice to each other, be kind to each other, and accept each other. Oh, and if it's June, head over to Kickstarter, link in the description, to support Only Crits' new F Me dice, or FU dice, whichever you so choose. They were fully funded in 15 minutes today. All the early bird backer rewards were gone in 2 hours, but they still have a lot of stretch goals to unlock new dice, new text. So go ahead and check them out. Link in the description. It will let them know that the Laughing Tavern sent you. Thanks. Have a good day.